Back to Marvel, Dave. We got a week off from WandaVision, and
One
we're right
week.
back. It's been the Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus dropped, and I'm seeing a lot of some like middling takes on this. Right, I'm seeing people feeling like, WandaVision was weird, and it allowed itself to be weird, and this just feels like what Marvel was doing on Netflix before. Is this really what we want? And Dave, I gotta say, I kind of agree. I found this to be just kind of a pretty boring episode of television. And, obviously, they got a lot of groundwork. They're setting stuff up. They're trying to build these characters up and what the storyline's going to be for the season. But, yeah, I did not find myself super interested. How are you feeling after watching The Falcon and the Winter
Right.
Soldier?
So it's important to note that Falcon the Winter Soldier is only 6 episodes, and critics only got to see the first episode in advance. So there's no one really knows what's coming and whether anything gets paid off, right? So we really only have to go off this premiere. And yeah, this confirmed the fears I had about this show after seeing all of WandaVision. I don't have a lot of confidence in the Marvel world being enough to interest me anyway. Uh, and Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 1 teases some like thoughts about some interesting themes, particularly about Sam Wilson as a black public figure and taking on the mantle of Captain America and what that could mean to the rest of the country and to him as a black man. Do I have a lot of confidence they're actually going to tackle that in a meaningful way? No, flat out, no, I don't have that confidence. Anthony Mackie actually has criticized Marvel's behind the scenes diversity in terms of the movies he's worked on. Like apart from Black Panther, is not a good track record. But I still don't know if that managed to find its way into the storytelling, right? And Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes, I don't know if there's enough there on the bone to make anyone super invested. So what you get is just, as you kind of said before, it's just kind of basic Marvel stuff. And to some people, that's more than enough. Again, they're spending a lot of money on this, so the action looks, more or less movie level. So like, it's fun, and I'm sure it's gonna be
Mhm.
fun, and it's cool to see like returning characters. Like we got a little cameo from Rhodey, and we know Sharon Carter, Emily Van Camp's character from the Captain America movies, and Zemo from Civil War. Like we know they're coming back, so like I guess that's cool to see. But like I don't think it's gonna even attempt to be transcendent, So like I mean, WandaVision definitely stopped being weird towards the end and got a little more conventional Marvel, but it still had a lot more going on, and I just don't have a lot of faith in Falcon Winter Soldier being more than just kind of a straightforward story.
Yeah, I'm so one of the things in terms of like the press beforehand that I was most intrigued by was Anthony Mackie. I think in one of the interviews said that they have some sequences of action in this that will like rival John Wick, and I was like, oh,
Mm.
that's sick! I can't wait to see like the stunt choreography and how they kind of set this all up. But then I kind of took a step back and I was like, yeah, but a lot of the Marvel movies now have really great stunt choreography, and we have like Blade coming up, which I'm sure is going to have like fucking sick choreography. Like this, it's probably not going to even compare to a lot of this stuff. And am I really watching a television show just to see people fight? And that,
No.
I mean, you can certainly that. So for some people, that's all they really want to get out of these, and that's fine. But I think especially following something like WandaVision, you kind of look and say like, what's the angle here? Like, what is going to set this show apart? And I just don't know if they have enough with this show that with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier to keep things interesting. I think if they do kind of use what happened at the end of the episode in terms of like the new Captain America, and then like grappling with if Anthony Mackie or Sam, is it Sam Wilson his name? I'm forgetting.
Yeah, Falcon is Sam Wilson. Yeah.
Sam Wilson, as the Black Captain America, like what that would be like. That's a really interesting show to explore. I just don't think Marvel has the guts to go there.
No. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I don't know about you, but like, I don't give a fuck about Bucky at all, dude. Like, going into Falcon the Winter Soldier, I actually rewatched Winter Soldier and Civil War. I hadn't rewatched either
Winter
of
Soldier
them
is great.
since they come up, and Winter Soldier definitely holds up. That's definitely earned its reputation as a top tier Marvel film. Has a lot of fans. Because I just watched Winter Soldier, I actually recognized that George St. Pierre's character
Mm,
came back in the Falcon episode one as a like a goon villain dude from the movie. So I was like, oh wait, I just saw this dude, huh? That's cool, I guess. Some random ass villain who doesn't really matter. Um,
hey,
but like Bucky, man, Bucky's fucking killer, bro. I don't care if he was in control or not. Bucky fucking murdered people, dude. Tons
yeah,
of people. It's
lots.
like really stark in Winter Soldier, by the way. Like he like blatantly just fucking guts people out, dude.
Yeah,
And it reminds me a lot of like Jason Statham being brought back into the mix in the Fast and Furious movies after he kills Han. And well, now Han's back, but you know what I mean. And it's like everyone just kind of accepted that like we're forgiving Bucky, and like now in the show we're going down the road of he's making amends and trying to get over this PTSD, and he has his mind back. And it's like I guess that's cool and all, but I just don't feel like I care enough about Bucky without Steve Rogers. I don't know.
yeah,
Like this is a show that like it makes sense. Marvel's making as much shit as they possibly can. Sure, here's like your continuation of the Captain America movies in a certain extent without Steve. I understand why this show exists,
mhm,
but I'm really skeptical of them actually taking it in super interesting place. And I like Zemo, by the way. Like I
yeah.
thought he was one of the better villains. So like there's potential, and like you have what's his name coming in as the new Captain America, like the U.S.
Oh,
agent character
Wyatt,
in the
right?
comics, Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt
So
Russell.
like there's some cool ideas there. Maybe how he conflicts with Sam Wilson. So I'm obviously gonna give Malcolm Spellman, Gary Scoglin, and crew. Like I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt here, but I'm just quite skeptical.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep watching. But I think if there's not something that comes out of this that like leaves me feeling like okay, this really captured my interest, I really might just be like tuning into the Marvel shows, just like the ones I just am interested in, instead of it being like appointment viewing. And that's what I'm worried about with this. Is
Yeah.
that I don't know. I don't know if it holds enough gravitas for me.
Well, that's the thing. You think about the future of Marvel and Disney Plus, and like there's some stuff that seems legitimately intriguing. Like I actually think Loki, that trailer did a great job of actually making it feel compelling as like a kind of like a heist, like fun vibe, right?
Hmm.
Like Falcon and Winter Soldier, like it never tried to be anything but kind of straight down the middle, like more of an action show,
Right.
right? So like Loki sounds cool, and Hawkeye TBD, and Moon Knight. Obviously, we want to see Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac because Moon Knight is a new character, right? Miss Marvel
Yeah.
show the same way, but like this, like I don't know, like are you stoked about Armor Wars with Rhodey and Don Cheadle? You
Yeah.
know,
See,
what is that going to be? Like,
I I think that that's actually a really good point. Is like Marvel, the where Stage 4 is going in terms of the movies is so diverse and so interesting and in so many like weird new directions. It's like, yeah, give me that stuff. But the television shows, like, I don't know. I'm not totally sure. I'm like, but I mean, like you mentioned a couple there that sound interesting. But yeah, the roadie stuff, like, no way.
well,
I don't
and
know.
I think that's the thing too. Like, if you're like deep in the MCU, I think WandaVision, whether a lot of it's consequential or not, you knew Wanda was going to progress in a certain sense, and we knew she was going to be back in Doctor Strange too, and Monica's going to be in Captain Marvel too. So you felt like there was actually some progression here. It just feels like Sam and Bucky and everyone else involved, like it just feels like kind of like a dead end.
Mhm.
Like we are so far away from any of these guys popping up in a team up movie again if they ever do. So I feel like in a sense this and Armor Wars and who knows maybe Hawkeye as well feels like a bit of wheels spinning. Like
Yeah.
Hawkeye, we get you get a feeling like maybe they'll spin that off right with Haley Steinfeld's Kate Bishop, and they just announced
Mhm.
another spin off in the works with a different character. So like that makes more sense to me. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I'm afraid it might just feel like a dead end.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I like both Sebastian Stan. I like all the actors in this.
Yeah,
Anthony Mackie's great. So I really hope that it ends up being more interesting than I'm thinking it's going to be. But man, if the second show they put out is just a huge dud, I feel like that's not a good start to this
and
TV
it's funny they wanted
venture.
this to be their first show. If COVID hadn't happened, this would have been the first show coming out in 2020.
Tough, 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 tough.